Okay, this is the new Outdoor Ukulele. I just got mine about 12 hours ago. Give you a little bit of a detail. It's just as the diagrams. If you followed this on Facebook or on their Kickstarter project, they look identical to the photos and the drawings they shared. You can see the seam there. This has the Grover B2 tuners. Back of the headstock, you can see the flat neck. Nice little belly button there from the injection mold. That's really about all that you need to see on the detailing, other than this. And I'll show you in a second. This has the bio-nylon strings. They've been on here for about 12 hours. I've given them a pretty good stretching. Okay, now some people were complaining about intonation problems, and one thing I want to point out on this is it's not what you'd consider an intonation problem. What it is the ukulele itself has very tall frets, much like a vintage ukulele. I don't know if you can see how tall the frets are there. They're a bit taller than most, and this is what I want to explain. Is that if you can listen to this. Now I'm just going to push down to the fret. Now I'm going to push all the way down to the fingerboard. Can you hear it go sharp? Now let's do that here. By stretching at that extra part, if you are a player who plays with hard hands and demands pushing it all the way to the fingerboard, this is what's going to happen. You're sharpening that note, and your intonation then is going to be off. So here's an F chord. Now that's just touching the frets. Now if I take those fingers and I push them all the way down to the fingerboard, listen to the change in the chord. Here's with the fingers all the way down. Here's with it just touching the frets. Here's with it all the way down. Can you hear the whole chord go out of tune because you are sharpening those two notes? Here would be an F7. So you may be encountering some intonation problems there if you play with what I would call a heavy hand, and I found that out a few years ago with a couple vintage ukes I had. I thought they sounded awful until I saw a Ken Middleton video in which he explained this. And so be careful if you're wanting to push all the way down. It's been about 8 hours since I strung it up with the Martin Flourocarbons, which come in a container like this. And I usually buy a set at the music store, local music store, whenever I can, because it's handy there, and I like to keep them, letting them know that people are interested in uke stuff. So, and I also think they sound good on my Islanders, so I swapped them out to Martins. And I like it. Now one comment I do want to make that I forgot to do on the other one is that some people commented on the squarish neck. Occasionally that does bite into your thumb if you cup the neck in your hand. And it's not sharp, it doesn't cut you, but it is squarish, and so it will kind of feel different in your thumb. Now I'll give you a sound sample so you can kind of listen to this and the bio-nylons and the other ones. 2-piece strings, definitely better than the ones that came on there. And a couple of things I'd like to point out to you is I would never do this to a vintage plastic when I'm squeezing it quite hard. I would never do this because you'd crack them, and I would definitely not do this. You get the idea. It's built for durability. I think they've got a product here that's going to be durable for the kinds of rough things you like to do. And while I had the time and had the strings off, I gave it a little personalization with some duct tape that I had. Be creative, have fun, make it yours.